Welcome to the SmartKeys podcast. Today we're doing a really critical deep dive. We're getting into a comprehensive article from smartkeys.org by Felix Römer, and it's called Debunking Productivity Myths: What Works versus What Just Sounds Good.
And the mission here, for you listening, is really strategic. I mean, we are just drowning in advice in this digital world.
Absolutely.
So today is about cutting through that noise. It's about finding sustainable, repeatable strategies that actually drive high-quality work. We're trying to move beyond just, doing things faster.
To doing the right things better.
Exactly.
And that's the core challenge, isn't it? We've all tried the tips, we've downloaded the apps, but then they fall apart. Why do these popular ideas sound so good on paper but fail so badly in the real world?
Because they completely ignore your context, your energy, your own personal rhythm. I mean, most of this advice asks you to become a totally different person overnight.
A perfectly disciplined robot.
Right. And the source points out that even someone like Benjamin Franklin couldn't stick to his own rigid schedules. The secret isn't some complex, flashy routine. It's finding a simple plan you can repeat that beats a flashy routine you can't sustain every single time.
Okay, let's unpack that. I want to start with the biggest myth of all, the one that's so ingrained in our culture.
Yeah.
The quantity trap.
Yes. The idea that longer days mean more output.
It's the heart of hustle culture, right? Just work more hours.
And it is the fastest way to burn out and, frankly, to create a lot of friction in an organization. The research here is, well, it's pretty decisive.
What does it say?
Most people have only 3 to 4 highly effective, deep focus hours in a day. That's it.
Wow, only 3 to 4.
That's right. And when you try to push past that, you hit these severe diminishing returns.
So what does that look like, diminishing returns? Is it just that you get slower?
It's actually worse than that. It's what you could call negative output. Your quality just tanks. And your brain shifts from creating new value to just managing all the errors you're starting to make.
Okay, so you're creating problems for your future self.
Precisely. Römer gives this great example of a software developer.
Yeah.
He codes for 12 hours, but the code he writes in those last few hours is often buggy. So any gain from the extra time, it's completely canceled out by the rework needed the next day.
You didn't gain time, you just borrowed it and paid interest.
Exactly. So the strategic takeaway here is huge. We have to shift from managing time, how long you sat in a chair, to managing attention.
So how effective was the brain power you actually applied?
That's the game. And practically, that means you have to protect your energy. You schedule the really hard, complex stuff for your natural peak hours.
So what's one immediate action we can all take away from this?
Protect 1 or 2 deep blocks. I mean, truly protected. No email, no chat notifications, just 60 to 90 minutes of pure focus. Then take a real break.
A real break, not just switching to another task.
Right. And at the end of the day, do a quick 5-minute review. What got done? What's next? It helps your brain switch off, recover, and get ready for the next peak window.
Okay, so if long hours are out, then the next trap we fall into is filling the hours we do have with just stuff, busyness.
The illusion of productivity. It's myth number 2. We check off 20 tiny things from a to-do list, and we feel great.
But the big important projects haven't moved an inch.
Busyness is a coping mechanism. It feels safe. It feels like progress. The thing is, when your goals are vague, people will always choose motion over impact. It's just human nature.
So how do we break that cycle?
By using constraints. Clear goals will always beat a bloated to-do list. The source cites this idea from Dan Sullivan that I just love.
Workdays.
Identify just 3 important impact items per day. Only 3.
That's a powerful constraint. It forces you to ask what actually matters today.
It does. But then the next question is, how do you protect those 3 things? And that brings us right into myth 3, the multitasking tax.
Right, the idea that doing a million things at once is somehow efficient. It feels like it should be.
It feels efficient, but it's one of the most destructive habits for anyone who does knowledge work, because every time you switch tasks, you're creating this cognitive overhead, a penalty.
A tax, as you called it.
Yeah.
How big is this tax?
It's shockingly high. Research on software engineers showed it takes about 9.5 minutes to fully get back into a good workflow after you switch apps.
9.5 minutes. So if you switch tasks just 6 times in an hour, you basically wasted the entire hour just ramping back up.
Exactly. That hidden switching tax just eats your focus alive. The practical fix is to sequence your tasks. So, outline, then draft, then revise. Stay in one mode.
And turn off the notifications.
Yes, and try what Thomas DeLonge calls the 1-hour electronic blackout. Just 1 hour, No digital interruptions. It can be transformative.
That friction from switching leads us right into the next section, which is about optimizing the wrong things. Let's start with myth A, the belief that the perfect app will solve everything.
Tool fatigue. We've all been there. We're looking for a technology fix for what's really a motivation or a clarity problem. We spend more time setting up the system than actually doing the work.
And the research you mentioned in the source on this is just, it's kind of absurd.
It's an IBM study, right? It's fantastic. They found that people who meticulously file their emails into these complex folder systems
saves everything?
Yes. They don't actually find their emails any faster than people who just use the search bar.
So all that time spent filing is essentially wasted.
Pretty much. Modern search is just faster than human filing. So the strategy is simple. Consolidate your apps. Judge a tool by how many steps it cuts, not how many features it adds.
And this connects to the flip side of that coin, myth B, the idea that you can just keep it all in your head.
Oh, that is a dangerous one. We all vastly overestimate our short-term memory, especially when we're tired.
Sure.
Relying on your memory just creates constant failure points. You forget a deadline, you misremember a key decision, you have to have an external brain.
So the concept here is information hygiene. What does that mean in practice?
It means you capture decisions and actions the moment they happen. You keep a running to-do list, maybe a decision log. And here's the critical part. When you write it down, your future self has to be able to act on it instantly.
No ambiguity.
None. Write down the who, the what, the when, and most importantly, the very next physical step. If you don't define that next step, the task will just sit there forever.
Okay, so we've fixed the external systems. Now we have to talk about the internal engine, the strategic foundation. Myth 5, that external rewards, like a bonus or a new title, are what drive great performance.
Extrinsic rewards are great for a short sprint, no question. But for the long haul, for true mastery, it has to be intrinsic motivation, that internal drive.
The passion for the work itself.
Yes. If you're only chasing the paycheck, you start learning the moment you get it. We see this even in education. That study of 3,500 German schoolchildren is a perfect example.
Remind me of that one.
The researchers found that the students who were driven by genuine interest and a desire for mastery had much better long-term outcomes than the kids who were just chasing good grades.
So the external reward, the grade, actually crowded out their natural curiosity.
It diluted the drive.
Yeah.
So the actionable shift here is to focus on the verb, not the noun. Focus on the daily, action-right code, design, not the title or the perk. You build an identity. I am a person who does this work. That's way more powerful than chasing a promotion.
Okay, that brings us to the final myth about performance. The idea that willpower is like a gas tank that just runs out every day.
Yeah.
Ego depletion.
Right, we tell ourselves, oh, I can't tackle that big project. I used up all my willpower this morning.
It definitely feels that way sometimes.
It does, but the reality seems to be a lot more flexible. The source suggests willpower is trainable, and it shifts based on your beliefs about it.
My beliefs.
Yeah, this is fascinating. People who believe willpower is an unlimited resource show far fewer of these depletion effects in studies. Your mindset is half the battle.
So how do we train that muscle? Or maybe how do we make it irrelevant?
You make it irrelevant. You reduce the need for it. Instead of relying on raw discipline, you use tiny habits and you design your environment. Lay out your gym clothes the night before. You lower the friction to starting.
That makes sense.
And another quick tip. Brief self-affirmation. Just reminding yourself of your core values before a tough task. A 2009 study found it actually boosts self-control when you're under stress.
So bringing this all together.
Yeah.
If we ditch the myths, the long hours, the tool obsession, the reliance on willpower, what is the ultimate system for a high-impact career?
That flexible systems win. Simple, flexible systems. We have to drop this idea that productivity is only for super organized type A personalities.
It's not about tracking every single minute.
No, it's about building a simple, reliable system that fits your energy, supports your strengths, and, allows for the fact that life is messy.
I really like that emphasis on flexibility. The goal isn't a perfect routine you never break.
It's a system you can easily get back to when you fall off. You create some structure to start your day, but you leave open space for creativity or for those unexpected deep dives. Structure should serve your work, not the other way around.
And as we wrap up, I want to leave everyone listening with one final provocative thought. It's about visualization.
Yes. We're often told to just picture the perfect outcome, right? To motivate ourselves.
And that can feel good.
It can feel too good. The source points out that this kind of positive fantasy can actually sap your energy. Your brain gets the little dopamine hit of success without you having done any of the work.
So what's the alternative?
The real power of visualization isn't about daydreaming, it's about using it as a rehearsal for resilience.
Rehearsal for resilience. That completely changes the focus from dreaming to doing?
Exactly. So instead of just picturing that perfect project launch, we encourage you to try critical visualization. Actively list the things that will probably go wrong. Map out your if-then moves.
So if the client cancels the meeting, then I'll use that hour for research.
If the server goes down, then I'll switch to offline documentation. You practice the contingencies so that one setback doesn't derail your entire week. That is the ultimate strategic move, planning for the bumps in the road, not just for the smooth sailing.
Thank you for tuning in to the SmartKeys podcast and taking this deep dive with us today.
Remember the key takeaway. Align your peak hours with your top goals, keep your systems painfully simple, and focus on that intrinsic drive for long-term performance.
We encourage you to subscribe to the SmartKeys podcast for more strategic insights on the future of work. And you can read the full article, Debunking Productivity Myths, What Works versus What Just Sounds Good, by Felix Römer. The link is right there in the show notes. We'll talk to you next time.